Okay, we're here. It's Brian, and we're at winning roles. So, what winning roles do you need to play? What's the trickiest winning role in real estate investing? And I think it's the closing caller. Being a master caller, being the closing caller, and but that is very easily remedied by having the right script and just getting good at that one script. So, what is that one script? It's a 2.5 page long script called the seller financing closing call. It is not that complicated. You don't have to memorize it. All you have to do is get very comfortable reading it. It negotiates all the deal points in the best possible way. So I'll give you a couple of examples of how this works. So when you're negotiating purchase price, how do I want you to negotiate purchase price? Now, you know that a lot of times in our advertising, we've advertised, hey, Roger, good morning, how you doing? On purchase price, we often say full price for your house or sell now for full price. And the purchase price out of the 4 deal points is the least important of all of them. Okay, so with the purchase price though, if they've already been said, you said you were going to pay full price, and if you can tell price is their biggest thing, the soft way to approach on price is, well, you were asking 169.9. Do you have any wiggle room on that price? Okay, that's the soft way. The soft way is just say, do you have any wiggle room? And if they say, no, absolutely not, then you know what the price is going to be. Or they might say, well, if they say, well, then you should go for at least 5,000. No, actually what you do, if they say, well, you say, if we work this out and close whenever you want, what's the least you would take? If they open the door, then you can go for it. And this is the go for it line. If you are really going for price, and they don't seem like they're a stickler on price, and it seems like they have room on price, you're going to say, if we work this out. Now, with ugly houses, often we'll say, if we pay cash and close as quick as possible. Okay, so that's not what we're doing here. So don't mix the two up. With this is, if we work this out and close whenever you want. Remember, whenever you want. Sometimes they're still in the house. So you don't want to say close quickly, because that might turn them off. That might make them say, no, I don't think this is going to work. And you don't even know why they just hung up. It's because you said close quickly instead of close whenever you want. Okay, so that's why the words are so important, to stick to the script. I can't emphasize that enough. So what do you say? You say, so if we work this out and close whenever you want, what's the least you'll take? And then whatever they say, you say, what? Is that the best you can do? Is that the best you can do? So that's your price. Hey, Lacey, good morning. Now, that's for price. What about asking for nothing down? Here's how I want you to ask for nothing down. You can say, we usually put nothing down. On deals like this, we usually put nothing down. Or you can say, now, the way this usually works, guys, just write that sentence down, because I say that all the time. It's in the scripts a lot. The way this usually works is, so for this, I want you to say, so the way this usually works is, the first payment you'll be getting from us is after we close, when we start making monthly payments. You understand that, right? Okay, so that's the scripted lines there. It says, so what did I just do? If they say yes to that, I just negotiated a nothing down deal without having to say nothing down. I said, so the way this usually works is, the first payment you'll be getting from us, will be after we close, not at closing, which is where they would get any down payment, after we close, when we start making monthly payments. So obviously the first payment that we make to them will be a monthly payment. All right, so that's how you work out nothing down with people. That's how I want you to approach it. And if they say, well, does that mean it's a nothing down deal? Then you can say, well, on these type of deals, we usually put nothing down. Okay, so that's how you work that out. Now, there's different ways that you can work out. And then let's go to the next one. Okay, what about term? How do you get the longest term? Well, here's how you get the longest term. You say, so the way this usually works is, you figure out what their monthly payment is. Okay, we're taking over their mortgage subject to, we're taking over their current payments. So that's how we want to do these deals. That's how we always want to do these deals. So what do we say? We say, so the way this usually works is we'll cover that payment for you until the mortgage is paid off. You understand that, right? I always say you understand that, right? Sometimes I say, doesn't that sound great? Or doesn't that sound good? But that's if this is a very important negotiating point that I want to make sure they're understanding and assenting to, agreeing to. So that's why I say you understand that, right? So what did I just say? I said, so the way this usually works is we'll cover your payment for you of $1,250. We'll cover that payment for you until the mortgage is paid off. You understand that, right? So that's how you get the longest possible term. Then if they squawk, then they have to bring it up. If they want less than that, then they have to say, well, I don't want to do it for that long. So then you just back it off slowly. You say, well, what's the longest you could give me? Remember, it's always what's the longest, what's the least, what's the least with the sellers, what's the most with the buyers. I love talking about this negotiating stuff because it's really where the rubber meets the road. And if you guys just get good at working out these 4 deal points, you're going to be good at this. And so this is really about getting into the nitty gritty and working these deal points out. So when you say, that's what I want you to say. So the way this usually works is we'll cover your payment for you till the mortgage is paid off. You understand that, right? Now, if they say no, then you say, well, what's the longest you could give me then? And if they seem a little bit lost, and sometimes they will be, they need some guidance from you. So you say, well, are we talking about, do you have 24 years left on your mortgage? Are we talking about 20 years, 15 years? Could you do 15 years? It's nice if you can say 15 and then go down to 10 and then go down to 5, but sometimes they're way too impatient for that. You're backing it off slowly. 10. Well, I can't remember the last time. That one line I know that some people use is, I can't remember the last time we did this for less than 10 years. But 10 years, 5 years, if we can get 3 years, it's usually a good deal. So you understand now how to approach that, and then you just start backing off of it slowly, but always assuming that they're going to give you the whole rest of the mortgage. Now, if you have to negotiate this thing cold, if there's no mortgage on it, so it's a free and clear house, how do you do it? You say, okay, well, and when you get to that point where you're negotiating the term, you say, so a lot of our sellers just give us a 30-year term. They love getting that monthly payment. And then I want you to stop and don't even say anything there and see what they say and see if they say, if they just go, then you just go, so that's how we'll do it. And then you go to the next thing. Okay. So if they just say, you assume that they're agreeing to it. All right. If they stop you, if they say, no, 30 years seems too long or whatever, then you play that same back and off game. Well, what's the longest you could do? Well, I'm at 15 years, 10, 5, whatever, to get the longest you can get. All right. So that's how you do term. So the only one we haven't talked about, we talked about down payment. We talked about purchase price. We talked about term. And so we didn't talk about monthly payment. So with the monthly payment, how do you negotiate that? A lot of times it's right there. If you're taking over the mortgage subject to and you're working that out, then you're just going to make that payment. We already said, we sort of already worked out the monthly payment while we were working out the term, didn't we? Because we said what? We said, we'll cover that monthly payment for you until the mortgage is paid off. And if they want more than that monthly payment, they say, well, I'd like to get some too. Then they have to bring it up and then you work it out from there. Okay, but so you're looking for, again, with the monthly payment, we're just covering whatever their monthly payment is. Now, what if there's no monthly payment? And what if it's a free and clear house? This is where it gets fun. Okay, this is where you got to get good on a mortgage calculator. And this is where normally, if I can pay them 4% and still make a $500 a month spread, I will do it. Okay, so because I have to come up with something and they're not going to come up with it. So I got to pitch something. So what I'll do is I will normally offer, okay, I'll pay you whatever 4% works out, so long as it's $500 less than what I think I can get. Now, if I could afford to pay them 5% interest rate and still make a $500 a month spread, if I know they are kind of interest rate sensitive, I will do it. Okay, but if I know they're not interest rate sensitive, then sometimes that the interest rate has to be like 2%. Sometimes to get our $500 a month spread, when we're working with a free and clear seller, we literally have to write the interest rate like 1.5 or 2% to make the deal work. And so in that case, I will actually not put it in the paperwork, guys. I will cut that line out of 2B. So all the terms are in 1A, how much money, and then how you're paying it back is under 2B. And so I will actually leave that line out. If that interest rate is below 3, I don't want it in there. I'll just put the payment in there. And if they say, well, how did you come up with this payment? I will say, well, that's just what it works out to, because to make the deal work. That's the best I can do. And so now if they say I can't do it for that, or what interest rate does that reflect? And you say, well, that's a 1.5% interest rate, then they might, you might have an issue. But hopefully they don't even question this stuff, and you're out there at the deal meeting and it goes relatively quickly and you're solving their problem, you're buying their house. All right, so wow, what a day here. I didn't even think I was going to talk about this, and then I just got going on it. So guys, that's pretty much how you do the closing call. What's the key part of the closing call? Negotiating those 4 deal points. So I just told you how to do it. And so you just do, and now remember, that's all written out. And you don't have to remember or scribble some notes here and try to, say them all in the right order. Go to the seller financing closing call script in the what to say system, and it's 2.5 pages long, and that's it. That's where all the gold is. And that's the script where you will get good at this business negotiating and work out a lot of deals. Then it comes down to just talking to enough people. How many people are you talking to every week? How many sellers? Just tell me that. How many sellers are you talking to every week? If you're not doing several deals a year and shooting for 1 deal a month, aiming for that at least, then and I want you to talk to 20 people a week. 20 people of mostly sellers. And as soon as you buy a house, you're going to talk to a bunch of buyers, but I want you to shoot for 20 phone calls a week. If you make 20 phone calls a week and actually talk to 20 sellers, if you talk to 10 sellers a week, 10 FSBOs, 10 whatevers, you will be successful in this business. Now, one thing that always slowed me down was I ran out of FSBOs, because there's only so many FSBOs to call. And, especially if you are just wanting to work certain areas. Now, there's more FSBOs if you work virtually, if you go to other cities. However, those run out too. So what is unlimited? Landlords. Landlords are unlimited. Okay. Also, what is unlimited? Pretty much realtors. Now, I want you, not necessarily realtors, because what kind of realtors? Realtors who have a listing that's been listed over 30 days or has a price reduction. That's what I'm looking for. So guys, you can always call on those. So if you're ever wondering, I want to work 5 hours a week. I've got it on my schedule to work 5 hours a week, but I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs, not sure what to do. Print off a big stack of landlord opening call scripts and another big stack of listing realtor opening call scripts, and use those and start to generate your business. Always print off about 50 closing call prep sheets. Every time you're on the phone with either an opening call or a closing call, you should have a closing call prep sheet next to you, because you take notes on that, and that will help you close the deal. All right. So lots of training today, lots of great stuff. Sometimes I focus more on the mental game, but today I focus a little bit more on the real estate and playing that role of what winning role are we playing? Master caller, incredible, great closing caller, skilled closing caller, whatever resonates with you, but that's what we're playing when you are skilled like this. So I see you guys are chiming in, making some nice comments today. Good morning, Roger. What's up? Goo goo. Okay. Hi, Brian. Hi, Lacey. How you doing? Happy Friday, Isabel. How are you doing, dear? I have seller vacant since his dad passed 2021, appraised 323. 31 taxes. Okay, that sounds like an interesting deal. And guys, what does this deal come down to? As soon as I see that purchase price at 323, what do I think? I think, what's the payment attached to that, and how much rent can I get for that place? Okay, now if it was $150,000, I'd say probably I'm going to be able to get a pretty good spread on that house. I'm telling you, if you can stay in that range from 50 to 150 and even 50 to 100, for whatever reason, those houses are easy. You know, they're easier to buy because they're cheaper, and they usually have spreads built in. You know, they usually have a decent $500 spread. Where it gets tricky is when you get up over 300, because depending on what the interest rate is on the mortgage, that payment on that mortgage might be quite a bit more than what you can get for rent. Does that kill the deal immediately? Yeah, it does, sadly. So if you have someone who owes more per month on their mortgage than you can possibly get for rent, you know, what are you going to do? Have them kick in every month? No, it doesn't work. So pretty much those deals are dead. So whenever I see you guys, now, if you can get really good, if they don't even have a mortgage on it, if this person who has a $323,000 house has no mortgage, it's paid off, it's his dad's house. Maybe he inherited from his dad. Maybe it's free and clear. Maybe he can be super flexible. So if you know that I can get $2,500 a month for this house, then you're going to go to him and say, you know, that I want to work out some kind of monthly payment with you. And that's how we would do this. Remember, don't ever say seller financing or subject to, say monthly payments. So if would you be open to taking monthly payments? If you would, okay, great. Well, what's the least you would be comfortable with per month? Now, again, this is where they might be lost. So you might have to, if you know you can get $2,500, you might come in, you might lowball them a little bit, but be careful. You don't want to offend them. You might come in and say, well, how about like, you know, 1,500 or 1,600, or, I mean, what are you thinking? I haven't run the numbers yet. So you kind of can waffle around there, and because you don't want to offend them, you know, because 1,500, 1,600 and you could get 2,500, that might freak them out. Or they might say, boy, 1,500 a month, that'd be great. It's just sitting there vacant now and it's killing me. So again, this is where it comes down to what kind of monthly payment can you negotiate. Now that might actually equate to like a 1% interest rate or a 2% interest rate, but so long as they're okay with that payment, you know, we're good. So interesting deal there. Isabel, yes, thorough review of the 4 deal points. That's what I should call this, because basically this is how to negotiate the 4 deal points. This is some of the best training I have ever done here in terms of real estate. Good morning. Great information, worth reviewing. Yes, guys, if you're tuning in late, watch this over. Literally, this is some of the best training I've ever done on closing calls and being a master caller, and how to negotiate the 4 Pretty House deal points. What are those again? Purchase price, monthly payment, length of term, and down payment. Purchase price. Now, most people focus on purchase price. It's the least important of all 4. If I can buy a $150,000 house for $150,000, I'm not getting a deal on it. I'm not getting a great purchase price, but guess what? I've got a $500 a month spread. I'm going to buy it for nothing down because they owe $150 and it's worth $150. So all I have to do is pay closing costs to buy this house. And they're giving me the whole rest of the mortgage, 24 years. So it's a fantastic deal. I usually break it down like an apple pie. You need 4 decent sized apples to make a good apple pie, which is a good deal. And if the purchase price is a little scrawny apple, you've got a lot of other apples to make it up on. You know, $500 a month spread, nothing down long term. Okay, so all great stuff. Okay, all right, yes. Okay, so guys, thank you for this advice. Thank you, Jennifer. Yes, and guys, if you do not have our what to say and what to do system, you know, send me an email or contact me. I'll give you my email here, and I'll talk to you about getting you a really good deal on it or sending you parts of it. Okay, so the best email is wolfcouple@gmail.com, and that's wolf with 2 F's. And you can send me an email there and get a hold of me and let me know what you need. Okay, so I love giving you guys the good tips. And this is, guys, I'm a negotiating fiend. That's probably what I'm best at, and following the great scripts. So that's kind of our specialty, is having great scripts and keeping you guys on track by saying the right things. What you say equals what you make. What you say determines what you make. We always used to say that. Oh yeah, time for a new month. Oh, I have 2 more things, guys. We always say Fresh Start Friday, and that's what we got because we're right at the beginning of a month here. So let's have a great month this month in March. Set your goals now, and let's get serious. Actually, you could kick off your month to a great month. In Saturday and Sunday, you can make a whole bunch of calls. Remember, you could call landlords, listing realtors, FSBOs, and you could kick off your March here get an early jump start on your March. Okay. Oh, you didn't know what to offer. Okay. Well, Lacey, if you want to send me an email on this, I'll look at it. Good morning. Oh, hey, Charles. How you doing? Cash deal. Okay. Okay, he owes 28,000. All right, so guys, this is a distressed property, and sometimes even when properties are distressed, I want you to try to get monthly payments. All right, I will always want you to ask for monthly payments. That's our email right there, guys, so you can always get a hold of us. And Doris, hi Doris, great to see you. Yeah, so Monday will be actually, yeah, will Monday be sort of the beginning of March there, but we're right now closing up. Now, one more thing, it's National Protein Day. Sometimes I share some personal stuff with you guys. This is my favorite protein cereal, and I recommend it. So if you guys want to find the best cereal in terms of least sugar and least fat and stuff and got good protein in it, this is my favorite one. Now, it doesn't taste very good. It tastes kind of like cardboard. It's not really flavorful. So what do? I actually put a little more tasty cereal over the top. So I sprinkle, okay, I hate to admit it, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, a little bit of Cinnamon Toast Crunch over the top. Also, the other thing I do, guys, is I freeze my milk. This is going to sound crazy, but I get almond milk and I stick it in the freezer, and so it turns to snow, basically. So I have like I always want ice cold milk with my cereal. It's literally ice. It's ice cold. It's like snow. So that's another thing. All right, guys. So what's our? I am a great closing caller. I am a great closing caller. That's our affirmation 3 times on 3. Okay, ready? And remember, motion creates emotion. So you always want to bring some good enthusiastic energy to it. Okay, 3 times on 3. I'm a great closing caller. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm a great closing caller. I'm a great closing caller. I'm a great closing caller. Yes. All right. Now 3 deep breaths. Deep breath in. Put a big smile on your face. Hold it a little bit and let it go. Okay. Another deep breath in. Hold it a little bit and let it go. And one more. Good. This is so invigorating. Gets you pumped up in the morning. All right. So great morning. I know it was a little long today, but lots of great information. Look it over, watch the beginning over if you didn't see it, because there's so much good, juicy stuff in here. All right, so I will see you on Monday. Until then, keep expecting success, getting awesome training from the Wolf Couple, and